our next race is District 8, and that's Jane Cormier and Peter Bolster. And Jane, you're first.
My name is Jane Cormier, sorry, I have a big voice, and I'm running for Belknap District 8, which includes the communities of Alton, Barnstead, and Gilmanton. Getting America back on track starts right here at the local level. Our New Hampshire government must have conservative members to promote limited government and all that that means. And what does limited government mean? It means policies that encourage business, job creation, and economic development. And it definitely means passing right to work, or as I like to call it, workplace freedom. It means balanced budgets. It means local control of taxing, spending, education, and accountability. And that's why 2012 is such an important election, not just here in America, but in our country. As Americans, we need to stand unflinchingly for responsibility, not entitlement. So this election is all about choices, and I have been a resident of Alton for 15 years. My husband and I are music educators. I have held small business, a couple of different businesses in the performing arena, and I run a nonprofit organization, 501c3, called Just Love to Sing. We have 2 children, Catherine and Christopher Martinez, and I can tell you, honestly, I never in my life thought that I would be standing here before you in this venue. So everyone in this room has something to offer this election. My choice is to stand before you as a Republican candidate of the New Hampshire House of Reps. I may not have a political record, but I have energy and I have integrity, and I can tell you that I will vote as a Republican in the Republican platform, not as a Democrat. Now is the time for us to stand fast, talk honestly, and work tirelessly to bring forth economic development that is based on fairness for all, not for just some in a monopoly. So thank you.
Thank you, Jane. And our other candidate is Peter Bolster. Peter?
I've served 2 terms as a selectman in the town of Alton, finishing up my 2nd term, about 6 years. I came to New Hampshire originally as a 5th grader at the Campton Elementary School back many years ago, back in 1952. And was educated in Campton and in Derry at Pinkerton Academy, and then went off to college and then to seminary, and then came back a few years ago, about 14 years ago, as the pastor of the community church in Alton. I've been retired from that position about 5 years now. Didn't want to take any political office while I was pastoring a church, because that's probably not a little bit of a conflict. I am, as most of you know, a fairly independent person that doesn't always do what I'm told, okay? My position is always to look at each bill, and the problem is that when you see the idea of a bill, it may sound wonderful, but when you look at the details of a bill and its ramifications long term, it may have completely different results. And so there's an awful lot of wrestling that all of us do with the various bills that are before us. I am not, to be very honest, a person that just, if the leadership of the House tells me to vote some way, I'm going to vote that way. I'm going to vote based upon my experience and my talking with my constituents. Now, sometimes some of my constituents may agree with my vote, and sometimes other constituents may agree with my vote. And that's a very difficult thing, to represent the total constituency and not just one constituency. And so I'm very upfront about the fact that I am a very independent voter. I am very supportive of our county and the work that it's doing. I've been one of those people that voted for the county budget after some of us had it reduced. In fact, I made motions a couple of times to reduce the budget that actually held. And the other motions that were made to reduce the budget didn't hold, and ours did. So we've kept a pretty good line in terms of the county tax rate.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Okay, I've received 2 written questions so far. I haven't read them at all yet. Does anybody have anything else to submit? Neil, I see you writing. No? Okay, well, I'm just gonna grab one here and see what it says. Okay, this is, did you or will you vote for right to work?
Yes, yes, and yes, yes.
Okay.
You know, you've all seen my record. I voted against right to work. And the reason I voted against right to work was I didn't like the way that that particular bill dealt with the issue of the freedom in the workplace of workers and their employers to come to an agreement on how that they would deal with their relationship with one another. My feeling is that at any workplace, the employer and the employees should have the right to decide how they're going to function in terms of their relationship, in the same way as in my Rotary Club. My Rotary Club, if you're join the Rotary Club makes its own rules, and everybody that's part of the Rotary Club, if they're going to stay in the Rotary Club, agrees to abide by those rules. I would be very open to see some adjustment to the way that the labor situation is right now. Basically, in New Hampshire, pretty much any company can have a situation of agency shop without any problem. I don't believe that it should be up to the government to tell business owners, and their employees how they should structure their relationship with one another. That should be left up to them in terms of making that decision. That's my reason. Many of you may disagree with me, but that's the way I came down on it.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Jane.
GrokTV.